You recording? On Zencaster? Are you now? I was like, I just want to check that before, just in case. All right, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to Diggity, a video game podcast, episode number 275, I believe. I think
275, right? Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
You did.
I'm Jeff James. With me, as always, the incredible, unpinnable, luscious Brody Faults. Today, we're talking video games like any other beautiful Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is when you can catch us live on Twitch and on YouTube. And you can catch the audio version of this podcast every Friday morning where any audio podcast is available. Check us out there. You can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. And you can check out youtube.com/SpawnCampCo to check out the rest of the content creators that are part of Spawn Camp, which is like just tons of geek culture stuff, everything from like Build Bros, which is all Gundam stuff, to WSD and Beyond, which is like PC and like kind of some movies and different like pop culture stuff, to us, which is talking more about console gaming and just kind of gaming as a business as a whole in general. But if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for finding us. If you're joining us for the 275th time, my God, new record. Congratulations on that one.
Shit.
Yeah, holy shit. Thank you so much for that. And please consider leaving a review after this episode. Helps us out greatly on different platforms. And also, inflation, recessionary findings, not a lot for free, but our Discord is, baby. You can jump over to our Discord. Link for that is in the show notes on the audio version and the video version as well. Jump on in there for free. You can do a bunch of cool stuff in there. Everything from talking about video games, obviously, to talking about Formula One, to talking about what the hell you ate the night before. It's great. It's fantastic. It's a great little community where everyone's really friendly with each other. So if you want to jump on over there, please do so. It's one of the last sacred places left on the internet. With that big update here on Diggity 2, I've got fucking closet doors on this thing.
Holy shit.
You see that?
Look at that.
Jesus. Right? I mean, that's
God
a big
damn.
deal.
That is a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
Most people probably... I mean, go back and look at any of our videos from quite some time now. And no doors. The doors are there. They look good. They look good, bud.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. With that, before we get into news, we haven't seen each other in like, what, 2 weeks?
It's been a while.
It's been a while between you working and I was on vacation last week.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear a crazy fucking thing that happened to me on vacation?
Let's do it.
Okay. You'll actually admire this a lot because it'll bring you back to your hotel experience.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. So, Janelle and I had the opportunity to go down like a day earlier. So we drove down. We're going to Smoky Mountains, going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So we had the opportunity to drive Tuesday night, last Tuesday, and rip down there so that we could be down there for Wednesday for a whole day and get an extra day of vacation and go for a big, long-ass hike, which the hike was dope. So super, super cool. And we get down there at like, I don't know, midnight, okay? And I'm not going to name this hotel, but this hotel starts with Park and ends with Vista. And it's ran by a company that rhymes with Chilton. So we go to this hotel, we check in at midnight. we check in at midnight, right? Which is late. Like you're there. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's midnight. You're not finding another fucking hotel. We get our bags. We take them up to the room. Open the door. There's a bug on the bed. And I go, whoa, Janelle, don't unpack anything. We got to go downstairs. There's a bug on the bed. And she went, well, there's actually 5 bugs over here on the TV stand. And I went, wait, hold up. There's 50 bugs on that curtain. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh my God.
I'm not exaggerating. Thought they looked like ticks. We're not from Tennessee. Okay, we're not from this area. They looked a lot like a tick. Okay? Not like swollen up, but like a new fresh tick. So I go down to the front desk, and this is a big hotel. Well, this is a big son of a gun. It's a big tower.
Chilton did it up right.
Yeah, the Chilton hotel chain. Very interesting brand, the Chilton. So we go to the front desk, and I talked to the front desk lady, and I was nice about it. I was like, ma'am, we just got in. It's midnight. We use the digital key, all that stuff, to get in the room, and there's a bug on the bed. In fact, there's like bugs all over this hotel room. And she stops me like mid-sentence, and she goes, "Oh yeah, those are the kudzu bugs." And I went, I don't know what the fuck that. It's a bug. There's a bug. There's also stink bugs in the room too. Okay, just those big whomping stink bugs. So I tell the lady, I'm like, yeah, I think they're kudzu. Can you see that? KUDZU. Yeah, kudzu bug. Am I saying it right?
Sure.
Okay, so she's like, oh, those are the kudzu bugs. She then goes to try and grab like a card or something, bro. Okay, from the front desk. And she's like, oh, I guess we're all out of our cards. I'm like, our cards for what? To educate you on the bugs. Okay, so I'm like, hold on a second. Educate me on the bugs. She's like, yeah. She's like, this just happens. This is the whole, and I said, I just need another room. And she's like, the whole hotel is infested. This just happens. And I went, what do you mean this just happens? And she's like, they come in from the national park, okay, in the winter, like when it starts getting colder because they want warmth. Complete bullshit, by the way, because we had friends who were staying like, I don't know, like maybe like 3 minutes out of town in the fucking woods in a cabin already before us, right? That had no bugs. None of the hotels have bugs in that area. This is not a thing. It's not going to be a thing. So I'm like, look, I just need another room. So she puts me, she puts me into another room. They look like a tick, right?
They're not poisonous, but that does not mean they do not pose a threat to your health. When threatened or squashed, they release yellow-tinted excretions that are known to cause skin irritation on contact. Yeah, no, they just live here now.
Amber's listening right now because she's probably just like, oh,
God. This is their hotel. We're just living in it. Like, what?
So we go. So I'm like, I need another room. And she's like, okay, well, she's like, any room I put you in, they're going to be in there. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, just put me in another room. So she puts me in another room, okay? And we walk in there. There's not nearly as many bugs, okay? Doesn't appear that way. Then I start seeing them on the wall. I'm picking them up off the wall, Brody. I'm picking them up off of the curtains, brother. I'm fucking flushing bugs left, right, and fucking center. Me and my wife are sitting in the bed, okay? It's 1 a.m, okay? I've got to wake up, get breakfast, and get ready to go hike by 9:30 a.m. A 12-mile hike, okay? 6,000 feet in the fucking air in the Smoky Mountains. I'm sitting in bed, dude, just stewing. Because I'm just sitting there like, there's fucking bugs everywhere. I'm sitting in this bed, and I'm texting the Hilton. Like corporate. Shit, Chilton. I'm texting Chilton corporate. And I'm texting the Chilton. And I'm basically like, yeah, I don't understand this. I don't, like, why is this a thing? It says that they're everywhere. The lady's like, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. The first thing I read, bro, on Google, there's a pesticide for this shit.
Shocker.
There's a pesticide for this shit. First thing I read.
The Chilton doesn't care.
No, Chilton doesn't care at all. So I do this. Then it gets the plot thickens. Then we go to breakfast the next morning. Okay. Clean down there. Everything's all good. And we're having our breakfast. I get a phone call from like the manager of this Chilton area. No bugs in the omelets, Nick. No. And I basically said, I'm like, he's like, you still there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still on this property, but I put all my shit in my car at like 7 a.m. because there's bugs in your hotel room. All over your hotel. Except the lobby. Whereas when you first walk in. So you don't, so you get a good sense that, hey, nothing's fucked up here. So then I'm talking to him. And he's like, well, I'd like to cover your breakfast. And I'm like, bro, it's going to, you got to do more to cover my breakfast. So he's like, well, I can cover your breakfast. And I'm like, I'm still going to call corporate, but that's fine. You cover my breakfast. So he covers my breakfast, but then they fucking, like take my tip that I wrote to our waiter. They ran it twice. So I got charged twice on that. So then we were only in this hotel for one night, right? So we get the fuck out of there. We then go to our Airbnb, which, by the way, is in the middle of the fucking woods, near National Park. And there's not a single fucking kudzu, whatever the fuck, beetle inside this thing. It's a log-ass cabin in the middle of the fucking woods. And there's not a single bug in that cabin. Okay? So we do our rest of our trip is amazing. Airbnb was amazing in Gatlinburg. Hike was amazing. Everything was great. Come home. Diggity does have the worst luck with hotels, bro. 100%. And basically we come home, and then yesterday I finally called the Chilton corporate because I sent my email. I really got the response of, hey, we'll get you breakfast for free, which is like, that's crazy. And I'm talking with them. I explain all this shit out, bro. Okay? I explained this to the person on the phone. The person on the phone can't believe this shit. They're like losing their mind laughing at this shit because it is just so wild. I'm like going through like what this person told me at the front, like, hey, this is just, this is just what it is. Like, what the fuck is that? So I talked to a higher up, and then they're like, yeah, we'll reimburse you half. And I went, half, bro? Like, what? I mean, what do you, and like, what did it in? I ended up getting full is, I said two things there. The first thing I said to the person on the phone at corporate was, I've just told you all this. Would you stay here? Just answer my question. Would you stay at this hotel after what I've told you? And there's like a long ass pause, and the person's like, no, I would not. I'm like, okay. So now that point's gone. I'm like, hear my second point out as to why I should get a full refund, because it's crazy that we're sitting here only getting a half refund. My second point was, at one point in time, in the 7.5 hours driving home after this vacation, after staying in a nice Airbnb after, where it was perfect, but still reliving the nightmare in my head of that bug-filled fucking... I was in a biome, dude. This hotel was a biome.
It was a breeding ground.
Yeah. So I contact them, and I said the second piece was, I said, on my 7.5 hour drive home, I was trying to rationally think, okay, is there any part of this where I did not see a warning? Like, I maybe missed a sign or something on the website. And then I said to her, I'm like, but then I also sat here and thought to myself, if you had a pop-up message, like, hey, free breakfast, with a 2-night stay. And instead that pop-up said, by the way, we have bugs in our hotel room. I wouldn't have fucking booked the hotel room.
Amenities included. Kudzu bugs.
So I'm like, I don't really think there's anything I could have done out of this different and didn't see warning signs. And I'm like, I appreciate that they've got what appears to be, business cards at the front desk telling you that, yes, you do indeed have a bug-infested room, and here are what the bugs are inside of this. Like, like one of those fucking books you would get at the Scholastic Book Fair of all the bugs you can see in your front fucking yard, and you go out with the little magnifying cup,
Find them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Put together a little presentation to show everybody else at breakfast
Correct.
tomorrow.
They got some dead ones maybe taped to the fucking card or something like that to show you what's what. So...
I do have to hand it to the Chilton. At least they, refunded you eventually, because Holiday Inn just broke it off at my ass. So that was fun.
Like even corporate, even corporate Holiday Inn,
it didn't fucking matter.
Even Holiday Chin broke it off like that.
Yeah, Holiday Finn. No, bad. Fucking hate that place.
God,
I will use my credits there and never again.
Yeah, don't stay at the fucking Chilton Park Vista.
I just kind of hate hotels in general. They're all
kind of
make me squirm a little bit.
I've stayed at a lot of Chiltons, haven't had problems. Like, I've never had a problem. And then, boy, Like, did I ever get the one? I mean, I literally, I cannot express how many bugs were in this fucking hotel. Like, it was unbelievable, dude. The curtains had probably 40 of these fucking Zulu, fucking kudu, whatever the hell they are, bugs all over them. And the lady's just like, telling me like, yeah, they, they eat this vine and the whatever. I'm like, okay, if I was staying in like the hostel in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or in a tent, yeah, maybe. This is a fucking Chilton. Like, you expect a level of decency at the Chilton. There are different value brands. This, however, was a triple tree Chilton hotel. Not to be confused with the double tree. The triple tree Chilton. And you would expect that this would be a high caliber hotel. No.
One would expect.
Anyways, we'll get back to our show now. I just wanted to share that because I could not believe that happened. Like, that was, and the entire time I'm sitting in bed, and Janelle, like, at one point Janelle looks over at me and she's like, what she's like, what are you thinking about besides the bugs? I'm like, that this just happened to me, because only this would fucking happen to me.
Oh shit!
Only I would find myself at 1 a.m. in a bug-infested hotel room with nothing else to do, because that's just reality for everyone else in this corn cob of a fucking hotel. God,
Jesus, yeah, fuck all that.
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good.
I couldn't believe it.
So, to get to some video game stuff on here, I've been playing a shitload of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And I got through the campaign in about 2 days, 2 maybe 3 days. I pre-ordered it so I could get early access. We didn't talk about it last week because you were staying in the Chilton, and I did an episode with my wife. I know. And so if you have not checked that out, you should definitely go listen to that. That is it's a very different episode for Diggity, but I think it was fun. But anyway, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The campaign is fantastic. I want to preface this because a lot of people are like, it was fucking stupid. It's kind of supposed to be to some level. Like, it's a blockbuster. This is like
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the Fast and Furious of the video game world. Like, it's not going to be serious. It's not going to be deep. It's not going to be, like, even when they try to be serious, it's kind of goofy. Like, I won't say anything about it because there's still people playing it, and it's still too early, right? But there's one part that, for Call of Duty fans, it's really cool. But if you step, like, half a step back, you're like, that was kind of corny as fuck. But it's still cool. But yeah, the campaign played exceptionally well. The levels were diverse and fun. There was one level in particular that was way too fucking long, and I kind of wanted it to end. And I was going back and looking at some of the achievements and stuff and thinking about going back and getting them. And after I saw what I had to do and the levels that I had to do and what I had to do on the levels, I said, nah, fuck this. I'm out. And that's not to say that the campaign was bad.
You can't say. Damn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil much, right? Like, because there's some missions that rely heavily on stealth. There's some missions that are transportation. There's mission. It's a smorgasbord of what you would expect from a thriller. Not even a thriller. It is a full-blown action hero, fucking Fast and Furious, like. That's what it is. And I had a lot of fucking fun with it. And I was excited because after the shit show of first-person shooters we've gotten over the past couple years, this was a breath of fresh air. It is COD. It feels like COD. And I'm okay with that right now. That is perfectly fine.
Of the super, like, action film thing. Because, let's face it, like, a Fast and Furious movie is probably extra corny because it's a movie. You can't interact with it.
Right.
You're just kind of watching this crazy shit go down. These people be goofy as fuck on screen. At least in the goofiness of what you're stating, you can still at least interact with it, and you are, like, right within the goofiness. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, we were one step away from like driving a fucking multi-million-dollar car out of a skyscraper. Like we weren't too horribly far from that. But it's actually a lot of fun. I highly, highly recommend it. It was only I don't know, maybe 8 hours long. It was not a very long campaign. If you kind of took your time and tried to do some of the extra stuff and did the achievements, you'd have a little bit more time in it. I would wager that, depending on how you did it, you could probably get a good solid 12 hours out of this campaign in order to do all the achievements and stuff, maybe even longer, right? Because you're going to probably have to go
like
back.
graphically?
It looks fantastic.
Like
I will say
Cold
there.
War?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say
I just didn't know, right? Like, I mean, because is this still multi-platform?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's also the other thing. I'm also playing it on my PC. So I have a little bit more control. I've never played a Call of Duty game on my PC before, so I don't know how some of the other ones really stack up compared to what I have control over with on PC versus what I have control over on console. But it looked very good. I will say there was some weird glitchy shit, like some of the NPCs doing all but T-posing. Like, there's one where you're sneaking around and all of a sudden this truck pulls up and these guys get out. Well, one of the guys got out and they like walk around and they're trying to find you and everything. And they go to get back in the truck and the truck is just fucking giving her the beans the whole time that you're hiding here. And it's something like, it sounds like it's trying to move and it can't move. So anyway, one of the NPC guys walks over there and all of a sudden this thing fucking takes off before he's even technically in it. And you see him like still doing the sitting animation as he's trying to get in. Same exact mission. I saw a guy, he was walking at similar situation and ended up like walking on top of a truck and somehow ending up on top of a truck.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just very, very interesting. Some of the weird glitches and things that I ran across. None of them were entirely game breaking. I didn't have anything that like stopped my progress or, hard locked me in a mission or anything like that. Like everything was kind of silly, right? It was some weird NPC shit or something of that nature. But as far as, I mean, aside from the campaign, the multiplayer, I have been loving the multiplayer. It feels fucking great. I will say some of the maps suck really, really bad. But as far as the overall gameplay feel, it feels really, really good. Progression is interesting. The way they've done the gun vaults and things, it's a little different where you have like a platform. So you have the M4 platform and then you're working into different guns off of this M4 platform. So to get to, I think it was the submachine gun, the Hurricane, you have to use it's like the FTC Recon or something like that, which is almost like it's like a battle rifle. So it's small mag, but it's like a hybrid sniper, right? Somewhere in between an AR and a sniper, if that even is quite what it is. But anyway, it feels good, but that progression is a little strange and a little convoluted where it's hard to try to match up like, hey, I need to do this in order to unlock this attachment so then I can use this attachment on this. And you can see that if you go into, say, the M4 and look at all of the different optics that you could use on it, but it is a little goofy and kind of, I would like a simpler layout for some of this or something to where it would be easier to really navigate because the UI is one of my biggest issues in this game. Another thing I had an issue with was the camos. So when you go to unlock camos, at least on PC, I think it works okay on console because if you're using a controller, you can navigate to it. But so I got my M4 Gold, which is way easier than it's ever been in the past. So you have to unlock 4 camos and then you can unlock.
Thing?
I'm not opposed to it. I kind of like it, but it also doesn't have the same feel, I guess, of that long journey to get gold. But it's not terrible. So anyway, you unlock these 4 camos and then you unlock the gold camo challenge. So then in order to see that, you have to kind of like scroll over it, but The problem is on PC, you can't select it for whatever reason. So you have to select another camo, use your arrow keys to go over to the gold camo in order to see what your challenges are at right now, which is just a weird bug. On top of that, I fucking hate the way the camos are laid out in this game. Because you unlock, each gun has its own 4 camos that you unlock, but it unlocks them across all guns. So in order to really navigate the camos, it's just this long string of only 2 rows of camos all the way down, separated into different categories. Fine. The problem is everything is transparent. Every single thing has some level of transparency to it, so you cannot, even after you've unlocked it, it still looks like it's locked. The only thing that differentiates between locked and unlocked in any real capacity that is visible to the fucking human eye is a little lock up in the corner, and that is it. It's fucking god awful, and you
so
can't sort by anything.
Shit, and you're like, why the fuck isn't this working? And then you're like, oh, it's locked.
Right. Yeah, it's just this little gray lock up in the corner, and it is, while you're scrolling through quickly, it's not easy to see. It's not readily available. Like, I have a bright fucking red camo unlocked, and you can't see it. It looks great. It's bad. It's just fucking dumb. But I like the camos that they have in the game. I like some of the customization they have going on, but some of these weird glitches, some of the UI, like that camo menu is atrocious. They need to at least have it to where you can sort by unlocked or something of that nature, but you can't. There's weird glitches, and that is the biggest issue right now. And unfortunately, I am concerned that they won't fix them because they haven't in the past. That is my biggest concern. I remember Modern Warfare, when it came out, trying to play anything crossplay with someone on a different console. Good fucking luck.
Can you buy these with money?
Buy the camos?
Yeah.
None of them so far, no.
I was going to say that's your only like saving grace. If they're going to fix it, something that you could actually purchase with money.
Right.
They might be like, oh yeah, let's change that.
The other thing I've had problems with is some of the challenges. So you have 3 daily challenges. After you finish your daily challenges, that unlocks some like bonus challenges that give you a bunch of XP. You have to unlock, or you have to do one of the challenges in order to get that bonus XP. And I have had a couple different days where it doesn't work, where the bonus challenge, it'll sit there, you show no progression on it, it won't unlock anything, it won't give you XP. Even I did it multiple times, shut my game down, started it up again, like the whole fucking shebang, can't get it to work. I will say that some of the co-op missions, they were pretty fun. They are pretty tough though, especially if you only have 2 people. It seems like they would probably work better with more, and I think you can do up to 4 people, but I'm not 100% positive. If you had 4 people, I think it'd be a breeze. I did all 3 of them with Evan, and we only beat 1. And Evan is quite good at FPS games, so that's fine. I have not played the new like invasion game mode that is similar to like a Titanfall, where there's the little minions that are AI controlled, and you just can kill them to get some points, and it's a large scale battle. Pretty much I've resided in regular multiplayer, the quick play with like fucking headquarters and domination, team deathmatch, shit like that. But yeah, also Nick is pissed off because there's no hardcore in it. Every time we play, he's pissed off because there's no hardcore. And it's not going to be called hardcore. It's going to be called Tier 1 when it comes out on the 16th.
Is it just going to be the same thing, just named different?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Nick's upset about a name?
No, he's upset that it's not in there at launch, even though pretty much no Call of Duty games launch with it. I don't know. It's Nick. He's just said no. Yeah, basically my main problem right now is the UI is god fucking awful, and he said they have launched with it. The last like 4 of them haven't, or at least not from Infinity Ward. Anyway, the UI is fucking terrible. There's some weird glitches, and that's really my biggest complaint. Other than that, I'm having a blast with the multiplayer. I've been playing it mouse and keyboard, which is fucking awesome. I'm enjoying it. It's great.
Well, what's your rating?
Is this on a Call of Duty scale, or is this a?
This is our diggity. You know, do you
Okay.
wait on it? Do you go buy this?
If you're into first-person shooters, especially in the drought of first-person shooters that we have, of good first-person shooters, I would say absolutely buy this. If you're looking for something to play of this nature. If you don't like Call of Duty games, probably wouldn't recommend you buy this. I mean, this is a Call of Duty game. It's going to play like a Call of Duty game. If you're a Halo fan and don't like Call of Duty, this isn't going to be the game for you because it doesn't play like Halo. Time to kill is much faster. It is a very run and gun type of game, or it seems to really be balanced around that. So I think it's an absolute buy if you like this style of game. If you're looking for a good multiplayer game to just screw around with friends, I think this is still a good game. But yeah, to me, I would heavily push someone into buying this.
That's good.
I think it's fantastic.
It is a massive pain in the ass how we've just also accepted that games can be glitchy at launch.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
I think
It drives me
absolutely
crazy, but at this point, yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know how it ever changes, right? Because no matter how many Redditors or Twitter followers you get together to boycott buying a game at fucking launch, it's not going to be enough.
No,
especially a game like Call of Duty. I mean, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. This game has sold fucking gangbusters, which nobody should be surprised by.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of good things here, but Nick is talking about that is until God of War, baby. A single player game that is, it doesn't have the same legs. It just doesn't. This is a game that somebody's going to play for a full fucking year. God of War, you're going to play for, I mean, depending on who you are, a month at most, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not knocking on God of War. God of War 2018 is one of my favorite games. I fucking love that game, and I cannot wait for Ragnarok. But it's not really an apples to apples type of thing. It's a fucking apples to oranges type of thing, or maybe a fucking
kind of thing.
It's a banana to kumquat. Like, yeah.
Careful, we can't say that on this. That's great to hear. Like, back to your point too on the Reddit piece. I mean, yeah, I get it. Also, there's also at the same time there's a group of people like, I'm boycotting it, not buying it until it's fixed and it comes out. There's also a bunch of people being like, they need to release this now. So it's like this like holy war between two factions that have no idea of what's going on and the decisions that they're making in front of them. It's kind of fascinating to me. Anyways, I'll move on to PSVR2 news. So PlayStation has finally announced not only a launch date, but a price for the PSVR2. It's quite shocking, but this will be launching February 22nd, 2023. With it, there'll also be a charge, or not with it, but an additional purchase. There will be a charging station designed specifically for the PSVR2 controllers, which will launch the same day as well. Here's the prices. For the PSVR2, it will cost you $549.99 US.
Do you want me to talk about this now or later?
Let me get through this stuff because I want to ask you like three different questions about this whole thing, because these prices and what was announced I have questions about this stuff deeper than just beyond the prices. So $549.99 for the PSVR2. For the PSVR2 Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle, right? So that's the Horizon VR game that comes with it. $599.99. And then the PSVR2 Sense controller charging station is $49.99. So if you want to have like a seamless place to dock your controllers in without wires going all over the place and your headset and everything, it's going to cost you $600.
It looks like a soap holder.
It does. It does look
weird.
like a soap holder. It's a very good thing. Very good comparison. Then there's 11 new PSVR 2 titles announced. We had the Dark Pictures Switchback VR, Crossfire Sierra Squad, the Light Brigade, Cities VR, which that's pretty cool. Cosmonius High, Hello Neighbors Search and Rescue, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, Pistol Whip, Zenith The Last City, After the Fall, and Tentacular. Okay, so first question on this, Brody, is $549. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting higher.
You were expecting higher on that?
I was expecting 600.
Serious?
Yeah.
I was expecting...
I think the
like
tech in this
400.
thing is much closer to like a Valve Index. I don't think there's any way they can do what they're doing with this headset for under $500. Not right now. I mean, it eventually will drop, but also PlayStation VR was, when it first launched, was... Ooh, I don't know about that. I'll have to look. But
Can you Google
anyway,
that real quick?
yeah. I expected 600, and I think that's a big ask. I also think that this is a big ask. And I don't think that most people are going to pick this up, and I won't pick it up for a while. I'll probably wait for it to go on sale. Like I was really excited about this, but I also don't want to drop $600 on a fucking VR headset that... How often am I really going to use it? Like I like the idea of it. I like the tech in it. I like what they're doing with it, but this is part of why VR is never going to really become mainstream, because it is fucking expensive to get into. And on top of that, if I had to guess, knowing Sony without getting a little creative, this is probably not going to work with your PC, which is a huge fucking miss.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, my thing on it, too, is it's so I was thinking more 400, 450. And the only reason I say that is I understand that the tech is going to be much better than that of a Meta Quest 2 or an Oculus Quest 2, right, as they go by. An Oculus Quest 2 or Meta Quest 2 is $399.99 with Beat Saber.
Sony's original PSVR for PlayStation 4 launched in 2016 for $400, almost $500 if you adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
So this really isn't a far cry.
No, but here's my thing. $549, you still have to buy the fucking console.
Yes.
You
so you're in $1,000.
Yeah, already $1,000 bucks.
1,100.
Yeah, 1,100. Yeah, for sure. In America.
Yeah. Yes.
In Canada, this shit's gonna be like $700.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so like
Australia, it's like 875.
Jesus. Well, that's because they're all upside down there. That makes sense.
This is also true.
So, like, but my thing with it is, like, you still have to have a system for it. It's not standalone, right? It's got a fucking cable out the back of it, whipping around. It's not. I mean, like, I understand the Meta Quest 2 is not nearly as advanced as this. But the other problem with that is, how the fuck do you actually show people how advanced it is? It's impossible.
I just don't think
And the games that they've shown are brutal.
Yeah, I don't think VR is at that place yet.
I don't think it's ever going to be that place.
Probably not.
Like, I just
honestly,
don't see
probably not. Like, I love the fucking tech behind it. I absolutely would love for VR to take off, but I just don't see a way it does. Because, one, half the time it makes people feel fucking nauseous. And two, it's so fucking expensive. And three, nobody wants to develop for it. Nobody wants to create that cool game. Like, even this Horizon game, which could be really cool. It really could. I'm not a huge Horizon fan. I like the world that they built there, but I just can't get into the games. But even with that, I know it's almost a full pop game, but in my mind, it feels like it's going to feel like a tech demo because VR constantly feels like it. The only game that I have played on VR that doesn't feel like a tech demo was Super Hot. And that's because Super Hot already kind of plays perfectly for a VR system.
For VR. It's
like the way that game was set up was perfect.
Run, shoot.
But yeah.
No, I 100% agree with you. Like the only, in the last couple of years, the only things that I've seen that have made sense in VR, okay, is either the shit of you want to hang out with your friends and you have an avatar and you go hang out, or Beat Saber. So a party game, right, that, let's face it, is basically tap revenge from the fucking iPhone, but now you're sitting there playing it, or guitar mixed with Guitar Hero, right? Which is fine, it's cool, but it's not a full-fledged fucking game. Which leads me to my second question to you. If we're to look at the price of Horizon bundled in with the price of that bundle, that's a $60 game.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's fair to price a VR game at $60 based on what we've seen so far come out for VR games? I mean, Cities VR that's an old game built in a VR environment.
Yeah.
All of these
absolutely.
and then all of these things are a lesser version of an intellectual property. They are like what you said, a tech demo-esque style feel so far to these games and what we've seen with I'm not walking around as Alloy. I'm moving to the next station and then I'm fucking...
Before we get absolutely fucking toasted, Aloy.
Oh, Aloy, sorry. God, that's right. My bad.
There's going to be some
Thank
anger.
you. Thank you, Brody. Well, then don't name your fucking character that. So anyways, I don't understand how you could ask $60 for that. $550 for the fucking headset. Also, why not just include some fucking games with the headset?
Because they're probably already
why not
losing...
throw tech demos in? Why not do an Astros or something?
I wouldn't doubt they're losing money on this headset as is.
Oh, I'm sure they're losing money on it, but for fuck's
probably
sakes, dude.
Quite a bit, considering the Index is selling for $1,000.
Yeah, but
it's similar.
But
it's very similar.
The PS5, the controller had a demo called Astros on it. Do something for the headset. Get people to understand it. Right now, I can hear all these great things like, yeah, your fucking forehead's going to vibrate. There's speakers in the fucking thing. I mean, basically, this is what it sums up to. That, and you can look through it with different focuses on the lenses, and it tracks your eyes. Yeah. Okay, cool. Show me what the fucking games look like.
Right. I'm surprised they didn't do an Astrobot, because I mean that's how Astrobot even started, was a VR game. I'm entirely shocked that they didn't have at least a little demo or something, but I also understand they don't want to dilute Astrobot by just making him the tech demo person.
Oh man, nobody's
little
gonna
character,
fucking
right?
play that shit anyways. Just keep him the tech demo guy.
Yeah, a lot of people loved Astrobot Rescue.
I mean, I enjoyed Astrobot on the PS5, but I also at the end of it looked at okay, now I know how to use this controller.
Well, the VR game, the original Astrobot
the VR,
Rescue or whatever, people fucking love that. And that is actually one of the VR titles that people kind of point to as being like, hey, this might actually work type of thing, right? Even though it's not going to work, it's still, it's such a stilted experience. You have to take time away and set up your whole fucking thing. I'd have to move these chairs behind me. I'd have to move the fucking table. I'd have to move everything out of the way.
I'd have to take these closet doors off again, dude.
That's right. You need the room inside that closet to play VR. Yeah, Nick even brought up a good point. Valve even made a fucking demo for Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard to... If you're going to do this, you need to have something out of the box. The tech demo on PlayStation 5 was fucking awesome. That Astrobot game, It was a little 4 or 5 hour experience. Fantastic. Or whatever it ended up being if you got everything. It was so cool. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. Showing off half of the things that I don't ever use anymore. And
it's true.
But it was cool, right? It's disappointing because I really wanted this to do well, and I knew they were going to have to price it too high because they can't afford to take the same losses that, reportedly Xbox is taking $100 to $200 loss on the Series X right now. Supposedly.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion because Game Pass.
Right, that's something that didn't even make it in today because it's kind of a whatever. But anyway, I'm just saying. I imagine they're losing their ass on this as is, and I don't think they could afford to lose any more on it. And unfortunately, that doesn't put it into the realm of most people being able to buy this. And that is exactly why the original PSVR in 2020, they reported numbers for it of the PlayStation 4 had sold 106 million units at that time, and there was 5 million headsets sold. I was surprised that there was even that many. But that was after it got dropped down to like $350 bundled with games and everything you need type of deal, right? Like, so it's just not, I don't know. It is what it is.
Jim Ryan, our guy who can't hold a controller right, has said that they're spending a considerable, quote, considerable amount of money on third-party and indie developers with PSVR2. I also think, and I don't think this is Sony's fault. I think it's a really
Pick it
poor
up when the
timing.
games come.
What'd you say?
I said I'll pick it up when the games come because this is not it. This
Yeah.
11 game
Well, I'll
lineup
pick
is
it up
not
when the
enough to fucking
games
convince me.
when the games become more than a tabletop version experience of a simulator or a look at my fucking floating hands and put a weapon in them experience. Like, go beyond that. And to be honest with you, if someone asked me, well, what would you do? I don't know. I have no idea what you would do. Devs need to figure it out, but like I don't know what you would do. But I think also too the big thing with this is just bad timing. I mean, like, it's tough for a lot of people right now with inflation and other shit. And I think when you sit there and you're like, yeah, if you want to try this out, you know, it's $550, and then that console that was really hard to get for the last 2 years, you're also going to go find one of those for about $700 and have at her. You know, like it's because they raised the price, right, of the PS5.
Yeah, up to $550. It now costs the same as this headset.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think Sony's in kind of a weird place right now where after raising the price of the console, a lot of people don't really care for the PlayStation Plus that they've kind of rolled out. And now this, I feel like they've had a few misses all here in a row that I'm not an Xbox person, I'm not a PlayStation person, I'm not a fucking PC person. I literally play all of them. This is just my observation of watching what has happened over the last couple generations in gaming. It seems like they're making similar mistakes that Xbox made in the last generation.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
I mean,
kind of going gung-ho
forcing the
on
Connect
like,
type of thing, like
yeah, it does
it
all of
feels
this.
bad, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a poll, 5,009 votes. Will you pay the PSVR2 launch price? Yes, I'm going to pre-order. 24%. Maybe I need to wait until closer to release. 18%. No, I'll wait for a price drop. 38%. No, I'm not interested in PSVR2 at all. 20%. This is on Push Square. Like PlayStation focused forum.
Yeah. Interesting. I was kind of surprised to hear the basically pre-order buy at launch be as high as it was, but
Yeah.
then again, I mean, you're always gonna have that group of people that will, right? No matter what. So I don't know. I just watching PlayStation kind of from afar right now because I have not been playing my PlayStation a whole lot lately, but it seems like they're making some interesting choices, and at this point I think they're locked into the VR thing anyway because they've announced it, like 2 years ago. Here we are, and I don't think it had the fireworks that they thought it was going to have.
Yeah, it's a bad time. There's a lot of people hurting right now.
Yeah, we're on the verge of a recession and everything else. Like, how many people are going to be dropping,
$550, yeah.
$550 after taxes, $600 fucking dollars on this, and still not even have a game to show for it. Plus, a $50 fucking charger for the controllers is crazy too.
The charger shit's fucking ridiculous, bro.
That's fucking insane.
And you're absolutely right too. It absolutely looks like a soap stand.
It does. It looks bad. It's not a good design.
You just put a bar of soap in there when this thing shuts down. So, I guess last question before we move on to the next piece of news, which I guess really like the news is kind of small this week, but what like you think that they'll stick with this long run, or do you think this will fit? Because PSVR kind of fizzled.
Yeah, I would agree.
In terms of support from Sony, like if they're putting a bunch of money into this, and people just don't go buy this. But I think people aren't going to go buy this simply because of price, because of the time that we're in right now when it comes to money. Do you think that they'll be smart enough to read that and say, okay, we'll just wait it out over the next like 2 years or year for us to get out of this recessionary period and high inflation, and then continue our investments as we go along? Or do you think they're gonna fucking pull the shit on this if they don't see within the first like 6 to 9 months that, you know, oh, we've sold this many units?
Yeah, I don't know what the legs are on this. I really would like to think that they're going to support it, and Sony usually does do a pretty good job of sticking it out. I mean, if you look at PlayStation Now, I mean, that's stuck around for a long fucking time. And most people didn't even know it existed, and even then it wasn't great as a service as it stood, right?
Yeah.
I think they will continue to support it. I just don't know for how long, right? At a certain point, they've dumped so much money into this for the research and development and everything else, and they have these consoles. They have, you know, so many of them already made that they're ready to ship and this and that. They have, you know, different companies that they have deals with to make these games, I'm sure, as well as, you know, some of their studios working on things like the Horizon Call of the Mountain. So I think they're going to have to stick with it for at least a few years. Like, I think this has to stay around for at least, you know, 3 or 4 years, but I think it will fizzle out again, because every time, you know, a new VR headset comes out, there's this little bit of boost in hype and talk about VR and this and that. But then it eventually dies off, and it's, you know, people become less excited because, you know, it's more of the same, and we're not getting that revolutionary game. I think the biggest thing that's going to happen is we're going to have some fucking game that absolutely blows people away.
It's going to be like a Beat Saber.
This is it. Yes. Beat Saber is fucking
be a
cool.
device seller.
Yeah, Beat Saber is fantastic. That's awesome. But I think it's going to have to be a different experience, because there is still that level of Guitar Hero to Beat Saber, right? Like, it is obviously different, but it has that same sort of vibe to it where, people
absolutely
fucking love it and it's fantastic. But I'm talking more in like the shooter realm. I mean, that is a realm that VR would excel in if they can figure it out. And I don't know how to figure it out. I don't know what to do for that. I'm not
with a $120 gun, like the last one.
Yes.
With the move.
That looked fucking bizarre, by the way.
Yeah. I meant the Beat Saber example, not in terms of the game, but in showcasing the actual technology.
I agree.
Because that's what made Oculus Quest this kind of boom, was that you didn't have any cables and everything. You just sat there and you could just turn that sucker on and get playing, and it was great.
In comparison, Meta announced their $1,500 fucking headset, like last week or the week
work.
Before.
Yeah, they're pro for work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing too with
it's
that.
It's a whole
right?
different ball game, but
yeah. Here's the thing with that too, is like they're so deep into it that like they can't go back. But if you look at this whole like metaverse bullshit and VR in general, like Facebook, which is now called Meta, is down sub 100. Their stock is, I mean, that company's destroyed. That company's gonna have crazy layoffs. And then also my other point would be, if Microsoft isn't doing it, and they've had HoloLens for technology, which is AR. I understand that. But it's not hard to go to the VR space as well. They also have VR shit. If they're not doing anything with that shit at all, I probably would sit there and go that they don't see a fucking market in that.
Same for Google. If Google doesn't have their hands in the pie, they tried, but they pulled away from it.
I assume there's pulled away pretty quick.
I guess that's not the best example, because they pull away from a lot of things that actually could be really good.
GoogleGraveyard.com, dude.
Right. But if Microsoft is not pursuing this,
God damn it.
I have a hard time believing that there is any sort of thing there. I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna take off. And I don't think the technology's there. I think in order to make it immersive, you almost have to have like that shit where you're running on like a fucking multi-directional treadmill, right? Like
Some
to
weird
actually make
treadmill
it
thing.
feel like something. Otherwise you are teleporting, and that's the only thing you can do because you can't run across your fucking room with your eyes blindfolded basically.
With a
Like,
cable strapped to the back of you.
yeah, with a cable strapped to the back, pull your fucking PlayStation off of the TV stand. Like, it's just,
Watch
it's not
someone's going to make a backpack. Like a hard
where
shell
you
backpack that your
strap the
PS5 goes into, and it's got a fucking power supply.
That'd actually be cool. You still have to figure out your HDMI, but, well, I guess you're just going
Yeah,
to
you
your,
just plug in
your
inside of the
fucking-
backpack, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. On to the next piece of news. So AMD just announced their new graphics card. So the AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX is going to be $999 at launch, and the AMD Radeon RX 700 or 7, I think it was supposed to be 7000. I think I missed a zero there. 7000 X1 is going to be $899. These are essentially what is supposed to be somewhat comparable to the 4090s, or to the 40 series from Jesus fucking Christ. Nvidia, thank Jesus. But anyway, these are kind of supposed to be a comparable generation. Right now it is all a lot of fluff and marketing. There's not any like actual use cases right now. So we will see more of
Great.
that because I think these were just announced today. But the features right now are a high refresh rate, 4K gaming, DisplayPort 2.1 support, dual media engine with AV1 support, 54% performance per watt generational uplift, and it is quotations powered by the world's most advanced gaming graphics architecture. So time will tell. I mean, until we get hands on with these, like, you know, you see your Linus Tech Tips or whoever you trust for tech videos, I would hold your breath first. I mean, these are graphics card are absolutely one of those things that the marketing around them is really kind of fucking crazy.
It's wild.
You just got to see their performance on them and see how they actually do. If they do well, if they are actually somewhat comparable to the 40 series, that price point is fucking fantastic. That is a great price point for these. And I mean, that's essentially what you could buy some like 30 series cards from Nvidia right now. So definitely keep an eye on these if you're in the PC world, if you mess with AMD at all, or if you even have a preference. Some people do, whatever it is, right? But definitely I'm kind of excited to hear a little bit more about these. I may be interested at some point.
Nice. I mean, it's such a fucking wild world out there with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. A lot of this shit, like, it's like, oh man, I can see the taint of that character better now. Like, there's more shadow on their gooch now. And it's like $8.99 for that. And I'm like, I'm all right. So, and then when it gets to the frame rate shit, I'm like, your eyes can't see past a certain amount anyway. So at that point, it's just kind of like,
I never get too hung up in the
oh, I know you don't. There's other people where it's like, yeah, I can do this. It's like, well, your eyes can't even see past a certain point. So,
if I can hit 60, I'm content.
Yeah,
like I can
absolutely.
tell the difference between 30 and 60 for sure. After that,
oh my god, huge difference, bro.
Yeah, massive difference between 30 and 60. 120, I can't tell you I really notice until it drops out. Like if you have a frame rate dropout, yeah, then you're going to fucking notice. But running at that side by side, I can't say that I actually have the eyes for it. I don't, whatever. I know Nick is, oh, Jeff, you silly console player. There's more to it.
Oh, there we go. Yep. That's all right. Enjoy your $900 memory card, essentially. Graphics memory card. Okay, so next story. EA has struck a 3-game deal with Marvel. This is a new pandemic. Currently, the only announced game is an Iron Man game. What say you on this, my friend?
Not super excited that EA has these rights. I will say the only saving grace here is EA has Respawn under their wing.
It's Star Wars.
Respawn did a fantastic job with Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
So, and I mean Titanfall, they have a lot of good background. They have a lot of good talent there. I think they could do it. I also think if BioWare got their head out of their ass, they could probably do a pretty good Iron Man game because they already had the flying pretty well nailed down for Anthem. I think the flying actually felt good. So we'll see. There's a lot of this whole EA stuff and like Marvel games. I feel like Marvel is getting a little too big for their britches. I say that as I'm wearing a fucking Black Panther shirt. I just think they're giving a lot of
Black Panther film
comes out tomorrow.
Oh, does it? It's
or
not
the
out
week
yet?
after? Yeah, not out yet.
I had no idea.
But I think they're throwing a lot of money at a lot of different companies to make a lot of different games, and I'm not sure how they're gonna pan out. Like the Marvel's Midnight Suns, love all the artwork, I love the idea of it. I'm a little concerned that it's gonna suck when it comes out. And that sucks because I was really excited for that, and I really think it would be awesome, especially on the Steam Deck. But I just don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it. But an Iron Man game could be cool, but I feel like we're almost going in the same realm as like the old Iron Man game we had back in like the GameCube days, the Hulk game we had back then. Like I feel like some of these games are gonna come out and they're gonna suck. Insomniac fucking kills it. Spider-Man is incredible. I imagine Wolverine's gonna be amazing as well. But I
think Insomniac is gonna do it differently. Like I have way more faith in Insomniac than.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I also the Guardians of the Galaxy game. That was amazing. And it got shit on because it came out around the same time as Avengers, right? Or shortly after Avengers, and a lot of people were burnt by Avengers. So, and it was also Square, right? Or Square published. So, I think Guardians didn't get the light that it should have because it was actually really, really good. So there is a chance. There is a chance they make a good game out of this. But EA does not have a great track record, and that is concerning.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I personally am getting like Marvel fatigue.
I'm even starting to get Marvel fatigue, and I really like Marvel. Like I really like Marvel, but it's just getting out of control. She-Hulk this. Yeah, She-Hulk bad. Miss Marvel bad.
She-Hulk was a pile of doo-doo.
Yeah, I did not enjoy any part of that. I think we actually stopped watching it after episode 2, maybe. 2 or 3. I just never even went after Miss Marvel. I don't like stretchy characters. Stretchy characters are.
They're weird, yeah. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I guess. I don't know what that phobia is, but
Mrs. Incredible.
Mr.
Mrs. Incredible has a stretch type.
Oh, that one's all right. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, another piece of Modern Warfare 2 news is that it's selling exactly like you would expect COD to, except for even better. So Modern Warfare 2 has the biggest PlayStation Store launch ever for the COD franchise. This includes pre-orders and day one sales only. In other COD news, P3, Phil Spencer from Xbox recently said in an interview that Call of Duty would remain on Sony platforms as long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship to. So their tune has changed a little bit there. I don't know if some of that is because it's coming under scrutiny, and even then,
Bro, P3 talks out both sides of his mouth.
Yes, absolutely. You don't trust any of the people that are marketing to you on this shit.
Oh my God, bro.
All these interviews are a fucking marketing ploy.
Did you
They
see?
absolutely are.
Did you
All of this
see
has been
the
planned.
notes from recent? I don't want to go too deep into it, but there's basically more notes that came out with Microsoft, and basically they were toting about how like they had 20 million users on Game Pass, and they talked about how big PC's grown, and then they talked about like the mobile aspect, and they talked about like, okay, well, you know, you're going to offer these games on mobile as well, which is going to make it they never have to buy a console. Like that seems non-competitive. Someone hypothetically could go get Call of Duty, just play it on their phone or their tablet or whatever with an Xbox controller, and never have to go get a PlayStation, right? Against like the, you know, the monopolization side of stuff. And they're like, oh, well, that stuff's at its very infancy of a product. This whole thing is new in the gaming sphere, like Game Pass, xCloud, all of this. So they claim like they touted 20 million users, and they said, oh, but it's in its infancy. And it's just fucking unbelievable, dude. It's like I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are you guys saying?
I think it will continue to grow. I think in some aspects it kind of is. Like I get what they're saying. I think it was worded poorly, right? But I mean, I have a buddy
they're
that plays on
wording it
PS.
so that they could get,
yeah,
you know, win that
right.
shit and not have it be like, yeah, it's not.
Oh yeah, right now everything is framing it so they can make their big deal go through, right? But
yeah,
I mean, I think there is some truth here, right? Because we've been talking about it for a while and saying I don't think they ever pull it from Sony either, especially when you have news like this where it's Modern Warfare 2 is one of the highest selling, or this is the biggest selling game from the COD franchise on day one.
Yep.
I don't see how you ever take that away, especially because that probably also means it was damn near the highest selling game on PlayStation day one, period, because of how COD sells.
Activision's biggest customer is PlayStation.
Absolutely. And to take that away would be taking all of that fucking $69 billion you won, or you put in on this. Sorry, I was thinking Powerball for a second. That $69 billion that you put in on this and pissing it away. It would be stupid to play.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean,
no.
They make so much money off of that shit. People just need to chill. And like, I know the argument's like, well, we'll put it on Game Pass for free on Xbox, and then you'll have to pay it on PlayStation. It's like, okay,
yeah,
there's shit that goes to PlayStation Plus.
That's their selling point. Their selling point would be to put it on Game Pass, and so if you're in the Game Pass ecosystem, you get it for free.
That shit's going up. Like we haven't really been in a fucking time. Throw Halo to the side, where there's been a bunch of first-party shit hitting Game Pass at one shot, and we're going to be coming close to that. Like, you bet your ass when Starfield goes up there, they're going to raise the fucking price of Game Pass.
Yeah.
There's no way they'll keep it the same.
Maybe not at Starfield, but it $20. It will raise shortly, I would imagine.
Yeah, he was just in a note saying that they're not looking to raise it by the end of this year.
Yeah. Next year, you'll definitely see a price raise for Game Pass.
Yeah. Speaking of Game Pass, there's some game movement for November. We'll quickly run through this stuff before we wrap up. So coming soon, available now, is The Legend of, God, is that Tianding?
Sure.
Cloud console and PC. The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, the complete season is available on PC. The Walking Dead: Michonne, the complete season is available on PC. Ghost Song is available on Cloud console and PC. Starting November 8th, you can get your hands on Football Manager 2023 on PC. Football Manager 2023 console, which is available Cloud console and PC, which makes no sense, but whatever. And then Return to Monkey Island on Cloud console and PC. November 10th is Vampire Survivors. That comes to console. November 15th, Pentiment comes to Cloud console and PC. Somerville comes to console and PC. And then leaving soon, Football Manager 2022 and 2022 Xbox Edition. And then November 15th, Art of Rally, Fae Tactics, Next Space Rebel, One Step from Eden, Superland, and Subnautica leaves Game Pass. You have our games with gold, my friend.
Yeah. Xbox games with gold. Remember, this is the first time that we have not had 360 games. So everybody was it was the first or second time. Everybody was hoping it was going to be like real crazy. It's not. Praetorians HD remaster normally would cost you $19.99. This is going to be available November 1st to the 30th.
So depressive.
And Dead End Job normally would cost you $16.99. It's going to be available November 16th to December 15th. Why
Congratulations, everyone.
Just let it die. If you're going to kill it, just let it die.
We have decided the vote that we would much rather have a subscription service and pay $14.99 a month while they get rid of beneficial features that we used to get free games every single fucking month. That is now gone. We are getting absolute trash. PS Plus monthly games for November. Neo 2, the Lego Harry Potter collection, and Heavenly Bodies. Enjoy.
I'm kind of excited about having Neo. Neo
2's cool. Lego
Yeah.
games are just like great in general.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them that. This is better than
Heavenly-
Xbox, but this is still soft stool versus diarrhea.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Nick wanted to
what's his question?
He wanted to know who we're rooting for in this year's World Cup.
Whoever plays soccer, the best.
He's absolutely asking the wrong people.
This is the wrong market. I'll cheer on the U.S. I'm sure they won't.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I guess I'd cheer on the U.S. because I don't follow soccer.
He just simply wrote, "Fuck you, Jeff."
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going to watch it. And when I mean
I probably
watch
won't
it, I
even
mean
watch
listen to it at work.
I'm not even going to do that.
I mean, okay, hold on. What fucking, here we go. World Cup. Who do we got? I'm going to pick your team for you, Brody. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to cheer for Senegal. I have no
Cool.
idea where that is.
Awesome. Me either.
But, that's great. And, oh boy, Canada's in it.
Nick said, no, don't.
No, don't. You don't want Senegal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, then we'll give you to the Dutchies.
Oh, Senegal's in West Africa. Huh.
Well, what are they doing
Would
in
you
the
look
cup?
at that?
Go for like Argentina. No, we're not going for Argentina, dude. No. You're going to... Oh, perfect. I know what team Nick would love you to cheer on. Serbia. You can cheer for Serbia.
Serbia.
Romanians love Serbia.
No, don't.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard Romanians speak so well and thoughtful of Serbia.
Oh shit. Yeah. Do you want to do we want to talk about what we've been
I
Fuck
don't
me,
know.
I can't talk.
I think we probably
Okay.
wrap it
I think
up.
we're good. Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, sure. I'll cheer on England. I'll do that. I'll cheer England or the U.S. or Canada on. That's how we'll
Nick,
go.
no. Nick still.
No, what? Like, I mean, I can't cheer on my country? Anyone but England.
You've
Why?
said that to the 3 teams he's mentioned.
Why not England? I mean, England's pretty cool. Like,
Let's wrap this up.
They've got it going. All I know is a lot of people died making those stadiums in Qatar, but I've also people call it Qatar. So I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's Qatar. It's most definitely Qatar.
Okay. Let's go Wrexham. Oh my God, we've got other people in here. Now, talking World Cup.
That's Noah. Anyway. Put a bow on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Diggity Podcast. The chat's so stupid right now. You can check us out at youtube.com/SpawnCampCo for other sweet pop culture, geek culture, video gaming stuff, content from numerous teams over there. You can listen to the audio version of the podcast as well on any podcast platform you can think of. We're on it. Please leave us a review. It helps us out a ton.